Welcome to episode 147 of Rebirth Revolution. My name is Melissa Olson. We've spent the last 4 episodes talking about how to instill responsibility and resilience in children. This week I want to talk about some general ideas about raising children while raising everyone's spiritual awareness levels. Children struggle with the intersection between their needs, their built-in frailties, and the expectations of those around them. It's a lot to process and juggle. This struggle exists for toddlers, teens, young adults, and every age in between. Understand that children of all ages are full participants in life. I think that we tend to dismiss the experiences of small children who are new to the game. But if we understood that every day for them is as exhausting as those first weeks of starting a new job, we might be more compassionate. You know the feeling, having to learn all new things and remember every part of it. It's stressful, which is why you usually find yourself processing it over and over again, even in your sleep. Even the smallest of children are inundated with new experiences and new skills to master every day, which must feel so overwhelming. Then you look at all the information that children are expected to absorb from kindergarten through the end of high school. It is a lot, yet we seem to dismiss it because it's just the process that we all go through. We lose our empathy for what they are going through. Just keeping your head above water is difficult in each and every stage of life. The younger you are, the fewer coping mechanisms you have at your disposal, and the fewer coping strategies you have been taught and had the opportunity to retain. You are at a decided disadvantage when you are young. We, as adults, have access to all the ways to cope, and we still struggle. It is our job as parents to present reality to our children in an age-appropriate manner and to give them all the tools that they're going to need going forward. Can we give them every tool necessary? No. The world has some things to teach them that we don't yet know. But we can help them understand the processes in play and give them the strategies they will need to find tools as they are revealed to them. We can't give them all the hacks, but we can invest our time in helping them develop their critical thinking skills, along with an understanding about how life unfolds, so that they can stand on their own 2 feet. But let's start this conversation with taking a look at some of the traps that exist in our current culture of raising children. I want to talk about the phenomenon that I think is pretty damaging to young children. It is damning with excessive praise. Telling your child that they are exceptional is actually a curse. I have heard so many parents of really young kids characterize their children in ways that are entirely too much to live up to. I remember one mother telling me that her small children were rock stars. I found this peculiar since they neither sang nor played any musical instruments. Obviously, she wasn't being literal, but she was fully invested in the energy behind that statement. Her children, in her mind, were not like other children. They were way above the other children and deserving of unearned praise for achieving something that they had not yet achieved. They were just little kids. They were just trying to get through the day doing little kid stuff. They had no idea yet what they were good at or what they loved, let alone what it would require to have that take them to the top. They were paddling as fast as they could, but somehow needed to live up to the wildly inflated vision that their parent had for them. What's rough for kids who grow up this way is that the over-the-top vision that their parent has for them will never align with the real world's perception of them. The rest of the world just thinks that they are garden variety kids, but they must carry this unwanted expectation into the world. The result? They will always feel like disappointments. They will always feel in the deep recesses of their brains that they didn't live up to the hype that they never asked for. I see all the young people struggling with mental health issues today and wonder how much of that is because they don't understand how difficult and complicated the world is, and they think that they are supposed to be better at this than they are. They have been told that they can do and be anything that they want, but is the world really set up for that to be their reality? There is something kind of gross and cruel about sending kids into this world with an overinflated idea of how they are supposed to set the world on fire. It is one thing to think that your child is wonderful and brilliant. It is another to convince them that the rest of the world will surely see this too. Chances are pretty high that they will be a normal, everyday type of person. If they are lucky, they will find work that they don't hate. They'll find some people who enjoy them, and they'll find endless challenges that will help them grow. That is how life works. We are here for the work of getting better, not the fantasy of fame, fortune, and the love and respect of everyone far and wide. That just isn't a reasonable expectation. Keep in mind that there has never been one single person who has walked this earth who has achieved fame, fortune, and the gift of every other person's love and respect. Not even Jesus. Not even Tom Hanks. No one has been able to pull that off yet. Have we, in our quest for building self-esteem in our children, created a world in which they feel like failures, even if they live a perfectly normal life? If that is so, then this strategy has had some very sad unintended consequences. Not only was it a bad idea to tell them that they could do and be anything they wanted to do and be, we then left them in this world where they are saddled with huge college debt, a world in which there aren't really that many jobs that pay well, even though that is what they were promised when they went into debt getting their degrees, a world in which the housing market is out of reach for most young people, and one where the news of climate change, war, and the breakdown of every institution is impossible to ignore. We surely oversold what their lives would look like. We failed to give them the tools that they would need, and then we wonder why they are racked with depression and anxiety. We think that they should be able to achieve what we did, which is something that we have made impossible. It has turned into generational gaslighting. The olds tell the youngs that they should just give up their avocado toast and everything will be fine. Nothing could be further from the truth. We just don't want to admit what a mess we have left for them. One of the things that we thought we did well was the self-esteem movement. We thought that if we told children that they were wonderful and perfect in every way, and told them this constantly, that they would love themselves and that life would then be a breeze for them, given that they wouldn't have to deal with crippling self-doubt. But was that ever even possible? Was it ever our job to fill them full of self-esteem? Here's the problem. You can't give someone else self-esteem. They have to earn that through their own choices. You can facilitate the acquisition of self-esteem by giving them ever-increasing opportunities to build their feelings of confidence and self-acceptance, but they can't get this through your words alone. It's like teaching someone to drive, which frankly was the most terrifying task of parenting that I ever endured. You can't take a teen who has never driven and tell them endlessly that they are terrific drivers. This won't turn them into great drivers. It will instead fill them with an unearned sense of confidence that is sure to make them a danger to themselves and others. You have to explain the process in detail, including how the car works, how traffic works, and what other drivers may do that they will need to be prepared to react to. You need to explain it all and then sit in the passenger seat while they try it all out and hope and pray that they don't kill you while they are mastering the necessary skills. The only confidence that they can truly gain about driving comes from actually doing it. Doing it and, hopefully, not killing you. Many of the people who thought that hyping up children with the self-esteem movement was a good idea were raised by generations that gave absolutely no thought to how their words affected their children. It wasn't unusual for parents to tell their children that they were losers who wouldn't amount to anything. They told them they were stupid, they were ugly, they were worthless. It wasn't seen as a big deal if a parent told a child that the child's very existence ruined the parent's life. Cruelty was seen as a right that parents possessed because they had all the power. It's a real design bug that children care too much about what their parents think and say. On one hand, it is good that they look to their elders for the wisdom they need, but not all elders are worthy of that reverence. Damaged people damage people. So the children of damaged, cruel parents had to go into adulthood trying to claw their way up to a neutral feeling about themselves before there was any hope of achieving confidence and self-acceptance. So we tried to fix that. But we didn't let them drive the car. At the same time we were telling them all the nice words, we were trying to protect them from the bumps and bruises that come from learning new things. We just told them that they were great drivers. For many children, we have done the equivalent of never letting them drive and then handing them the keys to a car as they left our homes to become adults in this world. And we told them, "Hey, you're a great driver." When it turned out that they lacked the necessary tools to actually drive, we let them feel like failures. And I have to wonder, are we letting them take the hit because we just don't want their struggles to reflect badly on our parenting skills? We told them they could do and be anything and everything. So why are they struggling? Thanks for returning for another week of Rebirth Revolution. We are all trying to grow and learn, both the old and young alike. We are all partners in growth. I appreciate the fact that you are open to examining it all and continuing to make whatever adjustments need to be made to make things better. It does no one any good to harden themselves into a defensive position. We all need to be open to any new ideas and practices that are better than previous ideas and practices we employed. We do our best, and then we need to be open to doing better. Rebirth Revolution can be found on all the podcast apps, the music apps, and full episodes play on our YouTube and Facebook pages. You can always find all episodes on rebirthrevolution.com. Please download, rate, and review wherever you can. Until next week, activate your empathy for all who are coming up. Accept that we can all do better. Stick with your COVID precautions and see if your openness can create new and improved connections. Remember, you are loved exactly as much as every other person on the planet, not 1 ounce more or 1 ounce less. Stay strong and safe and keep getting better.